Either we are there or not, ITSPmagazine still gets the best stories. There are plenty of conferences and all sorts of events that spark our curiosity and allow us to start conversations with some of the world's brightest minds. In person or virtually, we sit down with them at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society. Together, we discover what the synergy of these three elements means for the future of humanity. Knowledge is power, now more than ever.
Just like that, we're live.
Just like that.
In Vegas. And all I could think of is, all right, we have this little promotional video at the beginning, and I can think Alyssa's like totally analyzing that video, going, "Oh
I am. I mean, you and Marco know me too well. I'm thinking like, what could I do different with this video? This is a good video, but I would change this and this. And
the only thing I can say is that
it's far from
no animal was armed in the making of that video. That's all I can say. Well, you know, we are at a completely different level with you, so there's a lot of pressure. So let me start with that. With congratulations on all the success you're having with those movies. Incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tell us more about it right now.
Yeah. So basically, we've just recently been signed as a studio with AMC Theaters. So we're up there with Marvel Studios and the others, Paramount Studios. So we have a studio relationship with AMC now where they are premiering our films at any one of their 1,200 theater locations. So
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so we're super excited about it. We just had a premiere event of our new franchise Ransom, which is co-produced and sponsored by Conceal. And so what we're doing with Night Studios is we believe that cybersecurity marketing needs to fundamentally change. And so what we're doing is we're creating these story arcs, these screenplays, and weaving the cybersecurity company's product into that story arc. So we're showing through storytelling why a company needs a product and what can happen and play out if you don't have their product in place. And so we really believe that marketing is changing, that people really don't want to be advertised to anymore and marketed to anymore, and that what they want to do is understand why they need a particular product versus what it does and how it works. I'm a big believer in Simon Sinek's people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. So the best way that we found to do that is through storytelling.
Absolutely. Well, we definitely support that, and we have always been saying that, except that we actually do tell, and you actually show. You go
show and tell. There we go.
Show and tell. There you go.
Yeah, we're having a lot of fun, and it actually is it's a full Hollywood production. We actually shoot in Hollywood, as well as Las Vegas, where my wife and I live. But what we do is we go through the whole process. So we'll create the screenplay. Once it's reviewed and approved by the co-producers, which is a cybersecurity vendor, we put out a casting call. The actors submit their submissions. We review their audition videos, and then we actually select the actors. They come in, they do rehearsals, and then we go right to filming. And our clients will purchase either half a season or a full season, just like you would a Netflix series, right? So they ultimately end up becoming the distributor. Now, the neat thing about our relationship with AMC is that in addition to them, streaming the series, the miniseries on their website as a web series, they have these premiere events at AMC. So like what we had here at Black Hat Briefings, we did the same thing at RSA Conference, and Conceal is actually going to be doing a premiere event for every new episode that comes out. Now, our different clients each client is different. Some will want to release a new episode every month. Some are doing it every quarter. But ultimately, how they distribute the film is, the series is completely up to them. We are excited to announce that we just got a new FBI series. So for those of you who remember Criminal Minds, it's the behavioral analysis unit at the FBI. BAU number 2, which is Unit 2 of the FBI, is focused on white collar crime and cybercrime. So the new sponsors and co-producers of that new series is a cybersecurity company called Tago Cyber, and they're the co-producers in that. So we're super excited. It's called Dark Ops. We're going to begin filming that in September and doing a premiere at AMC, just like all our other films. So we're super excited about what's happening in Night Universe right now.
It's awesome. Marco wants to be an extra, by the way.
You know, I was about to say, you know, both you and Sean, you guys got that look. You know, you got that Hollywood look, guys. I don't know. So I would cast you any day of the week for sure.
Marco's mute. I'm gonna unmute you.
I'm right next door, so you don't even have to pay for my travel.
I know, yeah. It's like you're right in our backyard, you know?
Yeah. So let me
you'll have to catch me on the East Coast if you come back.
Let me ask you this. So with the focus on this, I know it's a question and I know the answer, and that's why I'm asking you. You still have time to do all the hacking stuff. And I know, yes.
Yeah.
So what's up with that side of your business, of your career, and also, you know what? I know you do live in Vegas, so it's not that you went to the DEF CON and Black Hat, not that you're driving too far. But what do you expect from this year event? Are you excited about it? Anything new that you're expecting to see?
So as far as you know, keeping up with the hacker persona, that hacker side of my life, I'm doing so in a different way. You know, like your typical penetration tester would, you know, bring on a client, do a penetration test, and deliver the report. I am keeping up with hacking in the sense that I'm doing I'm doing it through vulnerability research for our clients. So if I'm hacking something, it's sponsored work for either a film, meaning it's part of a film series, and you know, we need to create the content or the screenshots for the film, or B-roll is what it's called, for the film, or in the case of you know, our vulnerability research, I'm sure you guys saw Scorched Earth, where I hacked those 55 banks in less than a week. You know, that was for no name. It was all part of sponsored vulnerability research. So I'm still a hacker, but I'm doing it as a creator versus, you know, a Acme Corporation coming to me and saying, Alissa, we want you to do a pen test for us. Those days of my career are really over. I'm really not taking pen testing engagements anymore. If I am hacking something, whether it's a car or APIs, it's part of, you know, vulnerability research for a client or a film.
Got it. So I wanted to ask you about, and I wanted to ask you about the film, because connecting it to RSA and Black Hat / DEF CON, and obviously promoting it to an audience that's around those events. You're going to get a lot of people who know security and are hackers, and I'm just wondering what's the feedback been. I know we get a lot of folks commenting on things like Mr. Robot, right? How real are certain things? So I'm just wondering, because and there's that question, and then the reverse of it, when you go to a village, the car hacking village, right? You've done a lot with car hacking.
With Robert,
what do you bring there to give back from your experience and the way that you're telling stories? Kind of both of those views would be interesting to hear from you.
Yeah, so we definitely got a lot of feedback last night from our premiere. We had a full house, which was awesome because it really feels like the world is back. You know, just being at Black Hat right now, seeing how many people are here, it's a night and day difference between Black Hat in 2022 and what it was like as recently as last year. You know, and so just seeing the turnout last night at our premiere event, I feel like just through the action of people showing up and coming, and the fact that, you know, we really didn't have that much of a you know, a difference between how many people got a ticket for the premiere and who actually showed up, that people are back and that they do actually want to they want experiential marketing. They want to experience a brand, experience this, you know, in a different way, right, than downloading and reading the 30-page white paper. I really believe that those days are gone. I believe that, if you look at the recent HubSpot report, for example, 72% of buyers, of CISOs, make their purchase decisions off of video, right?
Right.
We're in a different age now. The oldest millennial just turned 40. We're dealing with different buyers who want to experience brands differently, and for them at a visceral level, that's through video, through film, and I think the numbers say it all. As far as Car Hacking Village and what I'm doing now as a creator, as a filmmaker, as a director, writer, producer, you know, I'm still doing that vulnerability research and publishing that research in my, as I mentioned with Marco's question, still delivering that out to the public, but under the banner of client-sponsored research. It doesn't change it at all. I'm not advertising their product in any way. They're just simply sponsoring that vulnerability research or paying for that research in a sense, if you will. So I feel like that does influence a lot of what Robert Leali is doing at Car Hacking Village. Like, for example, I'm about to release a new report on the hacking law enforcement vehicles. I keynoted at DEF CON at Car Hacking Village that a couple years ago, and the actual report is coming out now, and that's going to be sponsored by No Name Security. So, I am still doing what I do, but I'm delivering it to the world, to me, in a more creative way instead of a traditional vulnerability or open disclosure advisory. I'm not a bug hunter, a bounty hunter. I don't do bounties. Clients come to me and say, listen, we want you to prove the efficacy of our product by hacking something. So, for example, an API security vendor would be like, hey, look, we want you to go hack a bunch of cryptocurrency exchange APIs to prove why you shouldn't secure your APIs with WAFs. That's a great example of what I'm doing now. So I'm working with different cryptocurrency exchanges, and I'll be publishing that report and that research on how I hack these cryptocurrency exchanges through their APIs, and it's going to be sponsored by an API security vendor. So, all of that sort of stuff is, I'm still doing what I do, but it's just the way it's distributed and put out into the world is different.
So I'm wondering, because this is a joke that Sean and I had for a long time, and it's not a joke, but we always say we need some kind of public announcement service for cybersecurity, for the everyday user, for the business. And we used to say this 5 years ago when I was going around with Smokey the Bear on my shirt, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I'm thinking, like, it would be great. I'm not going to give you another job. I'm just throwing an idea. If you could get a budget, if you could get a budget from a government entity or whatever to actually do something that it is thought, created, produced for the public and not just for the business. So I mean, I just throwing this there because I know you're very
public
creative.
Service.
Public service campaign.
That's
just
a
throwing
cool
it
idea.
there.
There's a lot of people that would warn you, Marco, don't give her any ideas. She's going to start a new company and do it. Case in point, coffee. No, and I do want to address.
It's Night the Bear.
Night the Bear. I love it. Only you can prevent hacks. But I want to definitely address another question you brought about regarding Mr. Robot and the technical accuracy. The neat thing about the filmmaking, right? So we're now on our 5th franchise, our 5th series, and all with different co-producers. Each one its own IMDb profile. We add them to IMDb. We create the movie posters, the cinematic trailers. Each and every franchise is actually based on a part of my life or a true story. So, for example, which is a true story. So, for example, Scorched Earth is based on a true story, based on the life and work of Alissa Knight. I mean, it covers my life growing up, being arrested, being recruited by the U.S. intelligence community, and working with the USIC to track down these individuals. So it's that technical accuracy is so important to me. I feel like that is really what a lot of the success for Rami Malek was because of Mr. Roy. You could have hackers, cybersecurity engineers, blue team or red team, whatever it is. Look at something like that is a real Android backdoor. That is a real, or that's a Hack 5 pineapple, whatever it may be, and say like I can go buy that. and that I feel like that technical accuracy is really what separated Mr. Robot from typical Hollywood cybersecurity flicks, where oh, you're spinning a 3D cube and I'm hacking a password file. Like those days of hackers are gone, right? Because even Jane and John on Main Street get it, and it's a lot easier to understand that sometimes it may be just an ugly flat text file, but and I really, that's what we're really trying to do, is maintain that technical accuracy in the different franchises of the series and films that we release. And we're bringing that to corporate America, where we're now working with companies who are retaining us to create a film series, but that's not going to be released in theaters or Netflix or what have you. They're going to just publish them to their employees, and it's a new form of cybersecurity awareness training. I really believe that security awareness training companies are failing us. It's what's happening is they're so boring, they're so stupid, no one wants to watch them, no one wants to read them, and they just skip through all the content, jump straight to the quiz, and then guess on the answers in order to get through the quiz. No one likes cybersecurity awareness training that they have to do. So what we're doing at Night Studios is we're really trying to reinvent and transform even the security awareness training industry. And what we're doing is we're creating these bingeable series, these binge-worthy series, where these companies are having us produce this series for them, like you would a Netflix series. Their employees log in, watch the episode, they're left on a cliffhanger, so they want to watch the next one and the next one and the next one. But while they're being entertained, they're also being educated. So it's a form of edutainment where you're teaching them, what spear phishing is and what a spearfish can look like and how real it can look and what can happen. And so you're taking all the same curriculum, and instead of a boring traditional way of trying to teach our employees about it, we're entertaining them, but at the same time we're teaching them.
I love it.
Hey, unfortunately I have to go hack a tooth at the dentist. That's why I'm in my car last moment. Right. So I'm gonna let
you leave us on a cliffhanger, and I'm gonna leave you on one because I'm gonna stay on with Alissa.
Do that, please. And Alissa,
I'm stealing Sean.
I always enjoy hanging out with you, either virtually or in person. And looking forward to the many things we can keep doing together.
I agree.
So big kisses and see you soon. Enjoy the rest of the conversation. Bye.
Love you, buddy.
See you later, man.
Bye.
Okay.
All right. I have so many more questions for you.
Let's do it.
Because I'm always interested in what things get you excited at something like a Black Hat, and maybe we separate them because they're very different events, Black Hat and DEF CON. Are there any folks that you really want to see speak or hope you run into this week, or any particular topics that you want to make sure you focus on?
I mean, for me, it's so cool. I feel like cybersecurity has changed so much over the last 2 decades, right? 20 years ago, there was no such thing as a cybersecurity influencer, right? So there's so many different platforms that people can learn from, where they don't have to pay try and figure out how to afford the $4,000 or $5,000 to go to SANS training, right? They before there were so many limits on where you could go to learn, and now with cybersecurity influencers, like Dr. Kate Paxton Fear, Alissa Miller, Phil Wiley, all of these amazing influencers out there, Tanya Yanka, all these great people that are out there. They have a platform, they have followers, and they're teaching, they're educating, a lot of times free content. And so I love that. I love that about our community, because our community has a tendency to be very arrogant, very more elite than thou, and you suck for this, and this reason. I still run into that, of course, but there's also for every one of those people, there's 10 other people that are like, no, come over here, let's build a community, let's be a community, and let's learn together. And I love that about us. So I think the answer to your question is, just meeting other influencers and hanging out with them, trying to see what they're talking about right now. I love hearing from CISOs. I love hearing from people that are in the trenches on a daily basis. I definitely am looking forward to walking the exhibit floor and talking to some of the vendors and see all the new products. It feels like there's a new cybersecurity product category every year. There's so many just new categories of products and technology that are trying to figure themselves out. And I dig that. I love that, innovation more, and I feel like the more we can instrument ourselves with new technologies and new ways of doing things, the more effective we become as defenders. And so I dig that. And I think we've over the last 20 years seen new product categories come and go. There's some products that they realize there's really no market for. It's cool, it's great, but it can't stand alone as its own flagship product. It's actually a feature of something versus a standalone product. And you see these companies, pivoting and realizing that, they need to become something different. But I love that. I love, I don't see any harm in that. I think our ability as humans to reinvent ourselves and change ourselves because we realize something isn't working is what's great about humans, is what's great about innovation and how we continuously reinvent.
Yeah, we have to try, right? We have to explore and see what's there. And I don't know if you have anything top of mind. Clearly, when you were working on APIs, it wasn't a big thing from a vendor perspective, right? So it was fairly new research wise for you. Now it seems there's a category and a lot of products. And what's the next thing that you see coming?
For me, I mean, I think the API security market is going to continue to grow, continue to change and evolve. You see the API security vendors realizing, hey, look, it's not just about observability. It's also about these other things like, vulnerability management and incorporating that into API threat management and, looking at and doing a compare and contrast between the Swagger file or contract or Open API contract and the back end and what that supports. And the new capabilities and technologies coming out of Tel Aviv it's just continuing to grow and evolve. I think what's next, the next big thing, and I think that we're going to need to start to shift our attention is data security. I think data security, threat intelligence is going to continue to evolve. I just joined as the new chief marketing officer for a threat intelligence platform called Tego, who's the sponsor of this new series called Dark Ops that we're going to start filming in September. I'm super excited about that, and their threat intelligence. There's another company that's really focused on data security. I think if you look at it, when was the last time, Sean, that you saw a lot of huge innovation in data loss prevention, right? We don't really hear about DLP anymore, right? Then, now then there's like CASB, and okay, these are the idiosyncratic distinctions between DLP and CASB. And then now it's like, when was the last time you saw startup in DLP? Like we're a new startup in DLP. Right. Now it's pretty much like what?
You see it in the IAM space, kind of has a cycle that repeats.
Yeah, exactly.
We saw a little bit in endpoint. But not much in DLP that I.
And that's the thing is, I feel like we realized that we were arrogant as humans to think that we could control where data sat. We were arrogant.
What are your thoughts? I'm gonna jump in. What are your thoughts on Web3? Because that touches this.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I think we're kind of headed in that same direction with, so for me, that arrogance around thinking you could control where it sits and where it lives, data at rest, that you try and secure where it's at. Data is everywhere, right? Where data is transmitted, processed, and stored is porous, right? Data is everywhere now. In this pandemic, employees are at home. They're working from home. The corporate intranet is now extending into your home network, right? So for me, my perspective is security needs to travel with the data itself. And I feel like there were maybe some companies that were a little too early in that area. Now I think we're realizing in this pandemic, now it's time. Now is their time. And I feel like a lot of attention is going to start to shift over to data security, and having that security actually flow with wherever that data is going. In Web3, I mean, that's a very broad topic. We'll probably do a whole show on that. Right. But I mean, we are just talking the other, with a few other folks earlier with Phil. I was sitting down with Phil Wiley, and a few others about, cybersecurity in the metaverse, and and VR and what that's going to look like. And I think everything's changing, and it's changing real fast, and trying to figure out, cybersecurity in this new, version of the web, and just, I don't know. All I can say is APIs are everywhere, and the plumbing for that is APIs. And so my brain keeps going directly to API hacking, and you can layer all this fancy stuff on top of it, Unreal Engine and all this other stuff on top of it. It's in the plumbing, the very bottom of it is APIs, and that's where the data is living. And hackers are black hats are shifting their attention to APIs, knowing that that's where the data is. They're looking to double dip and profit off of it twice. So again, back to data security, back to API security. I think that's really, I think it's going to continue to be the narrative moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. So the rest of this week, obviously, there's a lot going on. You had your premiere, so folks can't catch you there. It's too late for that now. But
too late, you missed it.
Where might they find you?
Yeah, so I'm going to be, I'm going to be doing some live streaming for several companies. A lot of our clients are here in Vegas on the Strip. One, they've got their own events going on that they want us to produce, either film or live stream for them. So we're doing a lot of live streaming now. I think a lot of events are moving in that direction where they want the content on demand right now. So a lot of the work, the amount of live streaming work that we're doing at Night Studios is really increasing. We did a lot of live streaming at RSA. We're doing a lot of live streaming this week at Black Hat and at DEF CON. A lot of the cybersecurity companies just, I don't know if it's okay to say this right now, but these conferences are still very expensive and not something that a lot of the companies want to pay for. And the costs are going up. They've gone up significantly at Black Hat. The costs have gone up significantly at RSA. And a lot of companies are finding, hey, why pay for $400,000 for this booth space when we could spend $20,000, rent out an entire restaurant across the street, and bring everyone to us. And so I feel like I think things are changing. And I think they're going to continue to change in that area. But I think it's really interesting. But yeah, everyone can find me at these different events that we'll be streaming. We're going to be streaming the Night Dragon events. We're excited about that. I'm going to be doing book signings at different booths. So yeah, we're going to be around. I mean, I keep walking into people. I mean, if I don't, if you can't catch me at a booth or at someone's event, you can probably catch me in the hallway. Yeah.
Yes, hallway con. Well, it's a treat to get some of your time. I know you run around like crazy, and when you're not running like crazy, you're creating like crazy. And,
roasting coffee beans.
and roasting beans and winning Cannes Film Festival awards and all kinds of stuff. And yeah, it's a pleasure to chat with you, and a big virtual hug to you and Mel, and enjoy the rest of the week. And everybody who's listening, hopefully you enjoyed this chat with Alissa. She's amazing, and find her, chat with her, and stay tuned here on ITSP Magazine for more live streams throughout the week. Thanks, Alissa. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Sean.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of our on-location conversation. If you learned something new and this podcast made you think, then share ITSPmagazine.com with your friends, family, and colleagues. If you represent a company and wish to associate your brand with our conversations, sponsor one or more of our podcast channels. We hope you will come back for more stories and follow us on our journey. You can always find us at the intersection of technology, cybersecurity, and society.